Long day, huh?
A little bit. Long weekend.
You show up this morning to putt on 7. 4 down. I'm interested in a little bit of your mindset walking up knowing you're 4 down and 29 holes to play.
I mean, to be honest, I wasn't really thinking that much about it, about the deficit. I know it was a possible 2-shot swing, very good odds of being a 1-shot swing. So I was like, I'm going to start off the right way, make my putt regardless of what Brooks does, and then move on with my round and try to make some birdies out there. And started great and then stumbled a little bit at the end, but it wasn't playing easy whatsoever. The goal was accomplished. I reduced the deficit to half, which is great. And I had 18 holes to play with Brooks himself and try to beat him. I wasn't thinking too much about it directly, right? I was just basically worried about what I could do.
How does that generally work in terms of you got to focus on your game? I get that. There's no time almost to consider the situation. But if you don't consider the situation, you may end up in trouble.
Well, we're talking about a golf course where the margin of error is very small, right? So you got to do you, no matter what's going on, basically. I have to expect that Brooks is going to hit the best shot he can possibly hit at that moment, and that's it. I'm going to do what I need to do. I think the most important thing was commitment to the shots I was picking and commitment to the swing, commitment to the number, right? And even if I was taking a more conservative route, still be aggressive, right? Still have the mindset of playing good golf and making birdies. And that's what I carried all day.
When you started on Thursday with the double bogey, is it really not in your head at all? How could it not be?
Very simple. Tee shot, great swing. Second shot, great swing. Low wind gust. First putt, everything great but the speed. Second putt, everything great but the line. Third putt, everything great but the read. It really, the funny thing is all those putts felt good, right? There was this one little small detail wrong with each one of them, and that's why I missed them. But I kind of laughed, right? I laughed. I was upset for a second, yes, but I told Adam right away I was very positive about it. All of them felt good. We have 71 holes. And then I remember a quote from Sebi himself, right? When he was asked, how can a player on your level 4-putt, right? I miss, I make. And then you move on. The birdie putt on 2 was key, and then following it up on 3, even par through 3 holes, I'll take it, right? So I turned it around very quickly.
So as I mentioned, we work for sort of a general news program, and I think a lot of people will be getting a little bit more insight into your journey. Did you really not speak a word of English 12 years ago when you arrived?
No, that is a very big lie. I spoke English, maybe not at the best of levels. My understanding of the language was better than what people thought. It's different from speaking 1 hour in your classroom or 2 hours a day to living in a different language. The main difference as well was we learned UK English, UK slang, and I came to the US, so things are a little bit different, right? So there was a period of adaptation, right? And at first, when you just asked me that question, I would have to translate everything to Spanish, understand it, think what I wanted to say in Spanish, and then translate it to English. That, depending on what the question was, can be a very long process. So a lot of times, a lot of people are going to feel me in this, being in this situation. I would just say yes or no out of sheer just nervousness and shyness, and a lot of times we misunderstood, right? So yeah, at first I struggled a little bit, but a month or 2 months in, things started to get a little bit better. My brain got a little bit quicker at the translating part, and eventually, there was no thought into it, right?
Was there American television or music that helped you along the way?
Couple things. I had a couple seasons of How I Met Your Mother downloaded, and I kept watching them over and over with English subtitles and Spanish subtitles, because it helps, right? Always in English, but subtitles were different sometimes. And then, I know you're alluding to it, a lot of people mention it, because of a teammate of mine who memorized basically every rap song that at that point was in top 100, because I thought it was so cool how he could just vocalize it so quickly. Took it upon myself to learn a song. And at that point, Kendrick Lamar had just dropped his second studio album, which was Good Kid, Mad City. And there's a song called Backseat Freestyle that we just, when he came, he started listening to it, and we started memorizing it. And I had no idea what I was saying, not a clue. Obviously, I knew what words I could say and couldn't say, but I had no idea what I was saying, never understood it. But the sheer exercise of having to say those words that fast, it ended up being a vocal exercise that helped me keep up with the conversation quite a bit quicker. It was not only one song, I started doing it with every song that was popular at the time.
And you knew where Compton was.
Exactly.
Last question for you, because I know that you have plenty of ambition. As we're sitting here now, is this reality meeting your dreams, or is this reality exceeding your dreams?
Exceeding. Honestly, you can't wrap your head around what this evening is, right? Through starting the way that they started, to walking down 18 with a 4-shot lead, making that up and down for par, the ovation, the feel on that ovation, and then being with my family, seeing my dad, who almost didn't come, to seeing Ollie. That was probably the most emotional part of the day, seeing him and seeing history of the game alive for me, to everything that comes with the ceremony of the green jacket and everything afterwards, right? So I don't think anybody can possibly understand what it is unless you live through it. So yeah, I would say it exceeds.